Okay, so we're going to start off with 2 balls of clay about the same size. And roll them into like oblong shapes like this. And this is going to be his feet. We'll put that there. Make the other one about the same size. I think I'll just position him like that for now. And then I'm going to want to make his head. So I'm going to start off with a ball of clay. That rolled off screen since there's no room here, sorry. Just bear with me, please. Okay, we got kind of a round ball for his head. And what I'm going to do is score his feet. Let's see, I'm going to wet my tool, wet it, and score here, and also here, and just kind of push those together, kind of twisting motion, and that will kind of make them all kind of one piece. And I'm going to kind of push down a little bit, so kind of looks like shoes, you know, like that. You can kind of blend these together a little bit. I may have to add to that to make it bigger, we'll see. I'm going to take some off of this. And so this is going to be his head here. And what I'm going to do is get another ball of clay. Now this is my simple shape sculpting technique, and it just makes, so you basically forming simple shapes of clay and assembling them to form figures, or any object really, it doesn't matter. But the thing about it is you can visualize, you can see how it's all coming together, which is really cool. So you got the feet, which were 2 oblong shapes. You got the head, which is a ball. You got a little ball for a nose. You see? It's kind of cool. I mean, and it just makes it really easy and obtainable to learn how to sculpt. So I'm going to score this with a wet tool, top of the shoes here, and also the head here. Like that, with the wet tool. You want it nice and wet. And then I'm just going to kind of twisting motion, pushing down. Going to put that on his shoes like that. Now, that nose is going to be too big, so I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Let me see. Roll that into a ball. That's about right. Okay, so I'm going to kind of flatten it. I can put it on the table like that to kind of flatten it on one side like that. I get my tool wet, and I'm going to score right here, and I'm going to score right here, like that. And then I'm going to put it on his face, like that. And then I'm going to blend that in with my thumb, like that. You see how I'm doing that? And if you can't get to a certain part, you can use a sculpting tool, but really ideally you use your hands and your fingers as much as you can to get them used to sculpting. Now don't worry if it's a little bit rough, because we can smooth all that later on. This nose kind of a little off to the left there, just for, so it's kind of funny. I want it to be kind of floppy, floopy, whatever. I hope you don't mind that. That's what I'm thinking, right? Okay, so next, I'm going to take a relatively large piece of clay. I'm going to roll it into a noodle. First, I'm going to roll it into a ball, like this, and then I'm going to roll it into a noodle. So I gotta do it off screen. Gotta bear with me. Okay, like this. And I'm gonna kind of flatten it out a little bit. Not too much, but just kind of make it a little bit more flat. Like that. Maybe about that thick. And I'm gonna score it on the bottom. This can be kind of the rim of his hat, and then I'm going to score this along here where it's going to go, and I'm kind of guessing because I'm not sure how it's going to go, but let's see. Kind of bring it down like that over his nose and kind of bring it around to the back of his head. Kind of like that. So this is what it looks like. And I kind of push in here. Okay. Okay, good. And then I'm going to take another piece of clay and I'm going to roll it in the ball first, like this, roughly speaking, kind of like that. Maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe a little bit bigger than that. And then I'm going to roll it into a cone shape like that. And I'm going to kind of squeezing it like this, form it so it can kind of go up here like that. So I want to make it a little more broad on the base here. Kind of like that. And then what I'll do is I'll score this with a wet tool, right? Wet tool. And score this. And put that right on top like that. And then blend it in. I'll do that all the way around. Don't worry about the roughness, right? That's okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this really good, because when you bend it, like if you want to shape it or something like that, it might crack on you. So you want it to be nice and moist here. You can do that with a brush. You can do it with your sprayer. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. And then I'm just going to see how it cracks like a little bit there. Just bring this down. And I'm just going to form it and just bring it down. Kind of like that. He's a flippy floppy little guy, man, for sure. I like him. Okay, so we got that. And you can smooth it with your fingers a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe his feet should be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to add a little bit of clay. I'm going to just take a ball of clay like this. And I'm going to score it. Score it here. And score it here. And just kind of add it on there. Like that. I'll do the same on the other side. And I'll get my tool here and score this and score this. And whoops, kind of big. Just put on there. It's kind of coming together, sort of, kind of. Okay. I may have made the feet too big, but we're trying. We're trying. Okay, and now I'm going to get some more clay. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got another chunk of clay here. And I'm going to roll it into a cone shape like that. And I'm going to kind of form it. This is going to be for his beard. So I want to form it to kind of go up the sides of his face. So it's going to go kind of like this on his face. So I want to bring this out, make it like a big Y almost. Kind of like that. And I'm going to curve it off to the left like this. And then after I decide where it's going to go, I'm going to score it, wet and score, wet the tool, score it really good. This will just make it really strong. And this clay, when it dries, it gets so hard. Ooh, wow. It really gets hard. So, I mean, this thing, unless somebody were to just chuck it really hard against the wall, even then, it may not break. That's how hard this clay dries. And I just like making things, that are going to last a long time, because that's just so awesome, when you got, people you want to share your art with, or whatever, children, your grandchildren, whatever, So in addition to the scoring, I'm going to wet all this. And it's good to wet your work and your source clay every once in a while with a mister. Is a good idea. So now I'm going to put this on. Just sort of press it in there. Kind of form it to go around his face like that. Curving off like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. He's looking pretty cool, right? And then I'm going to take another piece of clay. This is going to be kind of oversized. I'm going to make a mustache. I want it to be kind of oversized. So I'm going to roll it into a ball to start off with. And then I'm going to roll it into a noodle. Rolling it in a noodle, right? And then I'm going to roll it at the ends a little bit so it's kind of pointy like that. And then I'm going to put it up under there like that. And maybe, let's see, I'm going to decide where I want to do it before I score it. So I want to see where it's going to go. So that looks pretty good like that. And then I'm going to score it. Wet tool, right? And like that. And then it's going to go along here. Alright. And then press that in there. Maybe have it kind of go that way a little bit. Maybe cut that off a little bit. And then I'm going to take a tool and just make a little mark in here for his mouth. And also take the tool and kind of make a little indentation in the mustache. Like that. And then I'm going to draw lines or carve lines in the mustache. Like that. And then his beard. Like that. Make a little mark under there for his mouth. Okay. Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. He's funny looking, that's for sure. But yeah, I think he's kind of fun. And maybe bring this, stretch this down a little bit. And come around the side, back side, and make sure that's looking okay. He's kind of leaning back. My gnomes always are leaning back. I'm not really sure why that is, but they do lean back for some reason. Okay, and then I'm going to take, so I'll take the bigger brush, right, because that's a coarser brush, and when I'm doing the smoothing with that, I'll do it more rough, with more water, and that will take more clay off. That's basically what you're doing, is you're taking clay off. And yeah, just smooth it out. And then, even though he's got texture on his beard, you know, you can still use the brush on it, because it kind of, it's kind of, you know, I want it to be, I like it to be a little bit softer. And what I do is I wipe the brush every once in a while on a rag or something like that. Get a little bit more water, dab some of the water off, and just smooth it. And then you can, if you want, you can take like, a sculpting tool, and you can go in and just redefine the lines, you know, the carving for the mustache and the beard, and then brush it again. It just kind of gives it this really soft texture, which is kind of nice. And yeah, so go like that. I think he's kind of fun. He didn't really turn out like the one that I made during the holiday season, but that's all right. He's still kind of cool. What do you guys think? And then once you got it to, you know, fairly smooth, you want to take your nylon brush, dip it in the water, and just squeeze the water off. And then just kind of drag it like this, drag it over the clay. Because if you stab at it, you'll put marks in, and you don't really want that, so. Pardon the sirens, I live in the city, so. So if you guys, you know, if you'd like, you can send photos. And I like it because it inspires me, so I really do appreciate it. Also, you know, doing these tutorials, you know, it helps to know what people are doing. You can email me. My email address is in the About section on my channel page. And you also can message me in my Etsy shop where I sell my art, or my Facebook page where I display my art all the time, posting constantly new stuff and new art pieces all the time. And you can message me in either place. The links will be in the video description right down below the video. And love to see what you're doing. You know? Definitely would love to see it. And that's about it. I'm going to show you one more thing. I'll be right back. So what I want to show you is I've got this tool. It's a clay cutting tool. And usually, like, when you buy tools, you can get a package of them for like 7 or 8 wood tools or plastic tools, kind of like this. Usually you'll get one of these in there. And so what you do is you put it at the back of the sculpture like this and hold it down to the base, and then just pull it towards yourself, and it will release the sculpture from the whatever the base is. And instead of trying to tear it off, because there's suction and all kinds of stuff, and then you can you know, just go around and like see all this here. So you want to definitely fill that in, or at least take your finger and blend that in so it'll be fairly solid. You know, it'll be solid and give it more structural integrity. So you want to do that. And yeah, so there you go. Little gnome for you. Yelling gnome. We'll call him the yelling gnome since his mouth is so wide open. Okay. And if you want to put a smile on him, you can take your knife like that, and you can actually make a little indentation in the beard or in the mustache. So it actually puts a little smile on his face. He's kind of goofy, huh? But yeah, just a little bit of character. There you go. So that's about it. There'll be a tool and supply list with links to all the places you can get for the things that we used tonight. And I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. Bye-bye.